Martin, how you
doing?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, forgive my co-host for his lousy introduction. Today, we are going to go into the cesspool, the sewers, the swamp of the Ohio State Legislature. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get very gay. Oh, did I say that word? We're going to get super gay. We're going to get so gay. We're coming hard like porn stars, or gay porn stars over here today, y'all.
I thought this was a respectable Christian podcast. What the hell?
Well, we respect Christians. We respect them. We respect people of all religions. As a matter of fact, if you can hear in the background, you hear that little lapping of water, licking of water.
I do now.
Well, that's very gay.
Wow.
Something very gay is going on right now.
Martin, aren't you a teacher and you're talking about gayness in Ohio? What?
Well, hey, I have some gay students. I have trans students, you know?
Wow, you must have spent a lot of time grooming those kids, huh?
Whoa. I'll slap you silly, son. I'll slap your mommy for that, you son of a monkey.
What, isn't that what everyone else is saying, though?
No, I respect my position as an educator. I would never, ever even think of doing something deplorable, evil, conniving, manipulative as that.
Indeed.
And anybody who says so, I will fight you to the death on my honor.
Not only that, do you know who else is not grooming children to be gay or trans or whatever?
Play a guessing game. Who?
Teachers. Teachers are not doing that, despite the very common thing that is floating around in public discourse now, that public educators and whatnot are basically teaching your kids that they can be gay or they can be trans. And you know what? That's not actually happening. Teachers aren't doing that. That's not what teachers do. Teachers teach very specific things, but no one's teaching your kids to be gay or trans.
Well, nowhere in the curriculum that I teach, at least,
now,
is that in there.
Indeed. Now, haven't you said in the past that people can actually look at curriculums posted online? Is that a thing people can do?
Easy peasy.
Wow.
Just go to your state's Department of Education. Go to your state's Department of Education.
Wowza.
It's that easy.
Really?
It's that easy, folks.
I'm going to do that right now. So...
And you know what? If they require me to post lesson plans every week, I'm just going to copy whatever the hell is on the Ohio Department of Education.
Wow, let's see. So, because we are both based in Ohio, everyone, you've probably already guessed what we're fucking talking about. We are going to be talking about a lot of the bullshit don't say gay bills floating around the country since, that shit was... I think the bill was passed, right, in Florida by DeSantis?
Yes. It's maybe a laughing matter making fun of these decrepit crypt keepers and wannabe younger crypt keepers. But in all seriousness, this is some really serious stuff. And I know proponents of this law may say, well, there's not even the word gay in there. That's not the point. There's something called the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Indeed. You want to go into a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, even think about segregation laws, right? Of course, racism was never mentioned in the law, but the spirit of the law is to discriminate. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Like, recall the anti-crime bill passed decades ago that disproportionately affected black folks, black men in particular. But yeah.
It's the cocaine crack sentencing?
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. Or when back in the Nixon days, the whole war on drugs, yes, especially cannabis, and it came out not that long ago that it was deliberately intended to actually target minorities.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're referring to Nixon's campaign manager, is it?
That's right. His campaign manager said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was nothing in the letter of the law that was intended to target minorities. However, the spirit of it, the intent of the law, did exactly that. So, for all of you listening, we are essentially talking about the series of bills that have spread because of Ron DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. So, before we get into it, I'm going to read something
Let's not just blame DeSantis. I mean, let's blame the legislature as well.
There's lots of people
state
to
legislators.
blame. Yeah. He's the big public face behind it, though.
Yes.
So, several Republican-led states are considering their own Don't Say Gay bills, sparked by Florida's controversial law. I'm reading from Newsweek, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
Oh, okay.
Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed into legislation into last month, which prevents topics including sexual orientation and gender identity from being taught to the state's youngest students. The law brought significant backlash from LGBTQ advocates who argue it is intended to silence the community. Supporters of the legislation, however, say young children should not be taught about topics of sexuality while in school. Despite those criticisms, more lawmakers from across the country are pushing for their states to pass similar legislation. Last week, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey signed two separate anti-LGBTQ bills into law. One of the bills would criminalize gender reassignment surgeries for transgender youth, while the others would allow people in schools to use bathrooms that correspond with the gender listed on their birth certificate. Basically, it's an anti-trans bathroom bill. The governor signed into law in Alabama. So it's...
I can believe people will be this stupid. Instead of talking about the real issues, these Republicans have to distract people from the real issues, like how in this economic system that we have, far the vast majority of us are getting screwed. But no, let's focus on stupid things that don't even exist, like people teaching about these issues in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, or people using bathrooms.
Yeah, one of those things not actually happening, by the way.
No, they're not.
Secondly, they're not doing this just because they're stupid. They're doing it, it's sinister. They know what they're doing.
No, I'm saying the people who vote for this stuff, don't they see that, hey, I'm having struggle. So the regular folks out there, man, don't they see, hey, I'm having struggle paying my hospital bills. Hey, I'm having struggle making ends meet. I have to work 2-3 jobs. I can barely even see my goddamn kids because I'm working so many hours. Can't they see this and say, wait a minute, why are we voting these people in the office who are against these particular interests?
Right.
And I'm talking both sides.
Yeah.
Republicans and Democrats both serve the same people. It's just different flavors of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Vanilla and chocolate. Pick your flavor. It's all ice cream. Hey, I may prefer a little bit of vanilla over chocolate, but it's still ice cream. Let's get some other dessert in office other than ice cream.
Yeah. So, like with people who do vote these people in the office, the people who actually get into the office anyway, they don't care or intend to change anything better for their lives. They're just capitalizing on culture war bullshit. Whether it's, trans women in sports or anything else like that, they're capitalizing it because it works. People will vote around these things. Signing these controversial bills, they are lightning rods for media attention.
Well, sex sells.
It does. Right, that's true too, yes.
Well, if you think about even segregation back in the day, dude, it was all about sex to the mind of the average white male, well, the southern white male at least. It was all about sex, banging, fucking, doing whatever. That's what it was about to them, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, there's this great book. Hold on, man. Hold on. There's this excellent book called Dark End of the Street.
Interesting. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let me pull this up. Dark End of the Street by Danielle McGuire. I read it way back in college, but it always stuck. with me. Yeah, Danielle McGuire, man. It's about the story of Reese Taylor and Rosa Parks, and specifically about black women. And At the Dark End of the Street is the official title, and the subtitle is Black Women, Rape, and Resistance, a New History of the Civil Rights Movement from Rosa Parks to the Rise of Black Power. And the reason why I mention this is because Danielle McGuire puts primary sources in this book, primary sources that are obsessed with sex. I mean, obsessed. Man, I need to look into my, I have all of my books, and I have a big book collection. I have all of my books in these banana boxes, you know, from the store, because I don't have room for a library here. So I need to pull this one out. Crap, if I knew we were going with this route, I would have pulled this out, because she, in this primary source, I swear I didn't even know this primary source existed, but there's this sick little pamphlet, primary source pamphlet, that, oh man, explicitly from the mind of a Southern white male, a racist Southern white male, that explicitly talks about sex and black men and white women. I mean, that's what a lot of that fear about segregation was. It was about sex. And these people today, these Republicans and these bills today, are using the same tactic, sex. But now they're saying, oh, your children are going to get raped. Your children are being groomed. Get the fuck out of here.
Meanwhile, one guy in particular, Matt Gaetz, is still being investigated, I believe, for sexual trafficking of someone who's a minor.
And minor, yeah.
Yeah. Or,
you know, I teach that. I teach the age group that he's accused of sex trafficking.
Yeah. Or guys like Roy Moore. You remember Roy Moore, right? Guy who ran for governor of, what was it, Alabama or Arkansas?
Oh, gosh. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
They are totally fine with that shit, apparently. They won't say a fucking peep about that. Or, oh God, who else can we think of that has a history of that? What about former U.S. President Donald Trump? Buddy with Jeffrey Epstein? That ring any bells?
It's ringing the church bells like crazy right now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was Donald Trump who was accused of, you know, walking into like a lot of those locker rooms of girls changing for...
Oh, you talking about the Miss Universe pageant?
Oh yeah, it was Miss Universe.
He admitted it with his chicken liver lips.
Yeah. But no, they're fine with that. They don't care.
The Miss Teen, I should say, the Miss Teen universe.
Yeah, Miss Teen, that's it. Fucking teenager shit. And they don't fucking care. They don't care about any of that. You can't convince them any of that shit's fucking real. Or like Madison Cawthorn, when he was in college, you know, like the little fucking piece of shit. He was the kid who was in college accused of sexually assaulting some girls. You know that? They don't give a fuck about your kids. But damn, they are obsessed with talking about your kids and sex. And your kids' sex, and your kids' gender, and all that shit. They're obsessed with that. They want to force your kids to be something they're not, because they think it's unnatural. Do you remember how in Texas, how the state government passed that bill that essentially supposed to investigate families who had a child who was undergoing like, you know, gender transition therapy and
child
stuff?
Abuse.
Yeah, investigating them for child abuse.
Yeah.
Literally want to take kids out of their fucking homes. Do you think these people give a fuck about the welfare of your kids? They don't even care about providing welfare for your fucking kids. Your kids Your kids could literally fucking starve in the street and they wouldn't give a shit, dude.
Oh, it's the same old tired trope. It's like, yeah, we hate abortion, but as soon as the kid's out of the womb, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know? It's the same old tired trope.
And let's be real. They want to literally erase LGBT identities. They want to erase like queerness from the face of the earth. These people have an ideology. They want you to think that queer people are obsessed with sex, obsessed with gender, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and they conflate gender with like, they conflate trans people and gay people with like hypersexual beings.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah. Or predators, remember?
Yes,
That's one of
yes.
the oldest homophobic tropes in the world is that gays are sexual predators. Each one is a potential sexual predator. And it's still a thing that is used today to get queer people killed. And now they apply it to transgender people. I mean, not just recently. They've always kind of done that. But these people always result on the rhetoric that it's about protecting the kids. You know, all that fucking bullshit. They don't care about your fucking kids. They want your kids to essentially fulfill these narrow roles. They're obsessed with your kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these are the same people who will preach Western values, you know, the ancient Greeks and Romans.
Oh, yes. The very heterosexual, not pedophilic Romans and Greeks. God, man.
Ugh.
Wonder how many of these people read the fucking Iliad or anything other than, you know, like the Odyssey or, you know, oh boy, that thing with Achilles.
Or read some Catullus.
Yeah. God, don't ask him about Achilles, a guy who's not only pretty
sleeping with his cousin Patroclus,
his younger cousin, his younger male cousin, or Julius Caesar. Should we go into detail about Julius Caesar and the accusations about him? Or actually, I just learned something very interesting. This is a little bit of a tangent. So as you know, I've been watching The Crown, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I come across some criticism about this particular figure, a guy named Louis Mountbatten, who appears in the show pretty regularly until he gets blown up by the IRA.
Yeah, he's King Philip's not biological father, but like
he's more like
if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he adopted Philip into the Mountbatten family. He was the uncle of then Prince Charles. I mean, still Prince Charles. He's not king yet. But you go down to his personal life there on Wikipedia. Found out homeboy had some allegations of sexual abuse. And is this guy a representative of Western civilization? Dude, just not doing anything different that the Greeks and the Romans fucking did. In August 20th, 2019, files became public showing that the FBI knew in the 1940s that Mountbatten was an alleged homosexual and pedophile. Now, the homosexuality thing isn't what's bad. It's the pedophilia, of course.
Yes.
But this was also, you know, isn't this like the time frame, you know, the 1940s that conservatives like to kind of want to go back to because that's when men were really men or whatever bullshit and women knew their place? The FBI file on Mountbatten began after he took the role of Supreme Allied Commander in Southeast Asia in 1944. Describes Mountbatten and his wife Edwina as persons of extremely low morals.
Her name was Edwina.
Edwina. It's a very pretty name. Fuck no, it's not a pretty name. And contains a claim by American author Elizabeth Baroness of Decies that Mountbatten was known to be a homosexual and had a perversion for young boys. Mountbatten's driver from 1942 to 1943 told the tabloid New Zealand Truth, this is a tabloid, so salt, that he transported young boys aged 8 to 12 who had been procured for the Admiral to Mountbatten's official residence and was paid to keep quiet. Is this Western civilization at work? Shit.
It's been going on in Western civilization. Yeah.
Damn, this is like importing Western civilization to me if he's doing this shit in Southeast Asia. These people want to go back to this fucking time? Shit. And also...
And I'm watching...
Yeah. So back, to, I guess, to the more relevant material.
Well, no, hold on, no.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Britain and being gay during that time period, how about Alan Turing?
Oh, yeah. A guy
wasn't he chemically castrated because he was a homosexual?
Yeah, he was.
What was that him?
I think so. Let's verify before I jump to some stupid conclusion. Alan Turing castration. Let's see here. Supporters have long campaigned for Turing to receive greater recognition for his work, an official acknowledgement that his conviction for homosexual activity was wrong. 2 years after choosing castration to avoid a custodial sentence, he ended his life at the age of 41 by eating an apple laced with cyanide. Wow.
These people want to go back to this. These people want to go back to this time. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's as if being gay isn't what drove him to suicide. It's as if there were external factors that made suicide almost like the only option he has at that point. Ultimately, it is literally going back to when queer people killed themselves. That's what they fucking want.
Well, you might be thinking out there, who's Alan Turing? How about the founder of computer science? And he was a cryptographer whose work was key to breaking the wartime Enigma codes. World War II.
Yeah, dude's a fucking hero.
War hero. Founder of computer science. You wouldn't be listening to this if not for Turing.
Yeah, we would not.
And yet his own government chemically castrated him because of his sexual orientation.
You would not be posting any of this bullshit right now if it weren't for that man who fucking killed himself who was gay. Jesus Christ. Like, I'm looking at another one of these proposed legislations. This one was in Tennessee, proposed or revived back in February. This is reading the summary, not the exact details, so bear with me. As introduced, prohibits the state textbook and instructional materials quality commission from recommending or listing the State Board of Education from approving for local adoption or from granting a waiver for an LEAS in public charter schools from adopting or using textbooks and instructional materials or supplemental instructional materials that promote, normalize, support, or address lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender issues or lifestyle, which amends the Tennessee CA Title 49. The Tennessee Code annotated. Okay.
Well, does that say anything about grade level?
Not in the summary. I'm trying to find the full text here, but let's see. I'm going to pull it up right now. It's 2 pages. This bill, this shitty fucking bill. This is just to give you all an example of what the fuck is going on. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Ohio-specific stuff here in a bit.
Well, we got the bill in front of us, and we have the people who introduced the bill.
So, as you can see, the link should be there for you to check out.
Oh, all right.
In this 2-page bill draft. This is the latest version of it in Tennessee, anyway.
Nice, 2 pages. You know, somebody wrote this overnight, like a school exam report.
And here's actually like a fun little thing you can do, by the way, folks. If you're looking at the PDF of a bill that's pretty long, you can just use Control F to look for something very specific. And this one, it does not mention anything. I typed in grade, found nothing. Age, nothing either. Nothing there. Children? Nope, nothing there as well.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Whereas the promotion of LGBT issues and lifestyles in public schools offends a significant portion of students, parents, and Tennessee residents with Christian values, and whereas the promotion of LGBT issues and lifestyles should be subject to the same restrictions and limitations placed on the teaching of religion in public schools, now therefore be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee. Remember, this is a bill, by the way. It's not actually passed yet. It amends the following Tennessee Code annotated, Title 49, Chapter 6, Part 22. It amends that by adding the following as a new section. The Commission shall not recommend the list. The State Board shall not approve for local adoption. I already mentioned that stuff earlier. Basically banning any materials that promote, normalize, or support or address lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender issues or lifestyles. This act takes effect July 1st, 2020. This is an old one, by the way. 2021. This is the one that they've revived, if you will. So they're trying to push it again in Tennessee. The public welfare requiring it and applies to the 2022 school year and each school year thereafter. It doesn't mention grades.
Real issues, man.
Yeah.
How about these people do some real... How about they work on real issues like regulating insurance companies in their states?
Yeah, they... Fuck that. Shit. Who do you think's paying them? Fuck. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Democrats are just corporate, shitlords too. It's just like, a little bit more...
degrees.
More of a progressive flair. your corporatism with the pride flag kind of thing.
Oh boy.
Like even doesn't Walmart actually like do stuff at Pride now?
Oh yeah, they do.
Like corporations are cool with Pride. Pride is pretty fucking whitewashed and
Man,
sanitized.
I'll never forget 2004 when I went downtown during the Pride Parade. I didn't know there was a Pride Parade. I'm going downtown, right? Mm-hmm. And I walked. So I walked all the way from my house all the way to downtown, and I went to the movie theater downtown to see Batman Begins.
Yeah.
So I'm walking, and I'm like, how come I can't cross the street? There's a parade going on. So I'm crossing, going back and forth, trying to get to the movie theater in the middle of downtown. And man, I see these barrels of condoms. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh yeah, the condoms.
And meanwhile, this is a time period when I'm an evangelical conservative Christian. So I'm disgusted. I'm saying, oh my God, condoms. Oh my God, these gay people. Oh my God. I just want to watch my movie of superhero men in tights.
Hey, yo, I just want to watch Batman.
And if I could go back to that time, man, I would probably be grabbing a ton of condoms out of there, man. I just started college, man. Fuck. I wish I could go back in time. I would put those not only in my pockets, I'll be putting them in my pants, man, walking around.
Pockets full of condoms.
Pockets and pants full of condoms. They be falling out from the bottom of my jeans.
Wow, that guy has a lot of condoms for some reason.
I'm going to college, man.
I'm going to college, man. Wow. But yeah, this is really just about erasure. That's the agenda. It's erasure. And of course getting elected because, you know, there's a lot of elections coming up, primaries and stuff like that. So passing a lot of this stuff.
I used to be the same way. Mm-hmm. I used to vote for these Republicans based on these made up social issues, man.
Because it works. And why would they change anything? They have no desire or intention of making your life any better or for their constituents. Fuck it. Just do this instead. It's easier. You don't have to fucking do anything. You just have to like make some bullshit up. You can just lie about things. This whole thing in Florida started based off some fucking lies. And now here we are talking about this shit. So one of the things that you pulled up before we started was a couple of articles that you pulled up here. And I'm looking at it right now. So just so y'all don't think we're just reading from some biased lib source.
Maybe we can get to that later.
Oh, you want to? Okay, you want to go to a different one then?
Well, let's go to the bill, and then we can conclude probably with that article by libertarians.
the last person you would expect to be against this shit. Because libertarians are noted for their social conservatism, if not the often aforementioned joke, and sometimes not joke, of lowering the age of consent in their states. But that aside, let's go.
And also, at the end, I can tell people where I'm going next week. I'm going to a very gay place next week with my wife. We're going to be very gay there.
Yeah, I actually have...
Whoa, don't say it yet. You gotta listen in, yo.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was going to say that, yeah, I'm actually, because I think, if I remember right, the organization that I would actually like to do some volunteer work with, I don't know what the volunteer work actually looks like, but it's more like an information session with Equality Ohio. So I kind of want to get back into doing some volunteer work and advocacy. They have like an online Zoom session for volunteers, and they kind of walk you through everything. So I'm going to look to get involved with that because fuck it. I don't want to be passive about this bullshit anymore.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm very, you know what too? I'm very angry. Well, not angry, but I'm kind of salty that next week I won't be in town because there's a big union meeting for teachers about our contracts, bargaining for our contracts.
Hell,
and what the school board wants to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there's going to be a big union meeting on a day that I'll be where I'm going to be at.
Any chance that it will be online or Zoom by chance?
No, it'll be downtown.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I could give you my union shirt. You can go down there if you want.
yeah, I'm not a teacher. I'm just here to be supportive.
Oh, yeah, man.
I do work in higher education, though. That's all I will say about what I do for a living. I work in higher ed.
But still, your stuff is also where you work is also influenced by the state giving you money, giving your institution money.
A lot of this stuff does impact me too.
Yeah,
in its own ways. So
yeah.
That all said, you want to read this shitty bill?
All right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we can take this bill apart, and I'm a teacher, y'all. So I'm a teacher. So this is very valuable stuff you're getting. You're getting from the horse's mouth. All right. So first of all, this is a bill, House Bill, Ohio, House Bill number 16. Sorry. Over, go again, flow it back to the Ren-Den. This is from the Ohio 134th General Assembly, regular session 2021-2022, House Bill number 616, as introduced by Representatives Mike Loychik, if I'm saying his name right, and Representative Gene Schmidt.
Even if we mispronounce their names, fuck them. Who cares?
I don't know, though, man.
Disrespect.
I've been watching a lot of Cornel West, and, I love how that guy is so full of love, even for the people with whom he disagrees.
Well, good for you and good for Cornel West. I'm not in the mood for Christian love bullshit right now.
All right, I'll be the Christian love advocate here.
All right, you do that. I'm experiencing anger.
Yeah, well, I am too. But anyway, so we looked up these people as well, and on the Ohio House of Representatives. I don't want to say anything about their physical appearance. I kind of think Mike Loychik's are kind of cute, actually. But anyway,
I've already given my. I've already degraded their appearance before the recording. I'm not going to repeat myself.
Yeah. But anyway, so these are the people who I guess introduced the bill, and this is a bill to amend sections. I don't know, some numbers of the revised Ohio, code regarding the promotion and teaching of divisive or inherently racist concepts in public schools.
That's some weird verbiage. That is some very strange verbiage.
This is a bill regarding the promotion and teaching of divisive or inherently racist concepts in public schools.
So, according to Section 1, this is intended to amend sections 3313.21.
Man, don't read them sections. That's boring.
Yeah, fuck these sections.
Yeah.
It's meant to amend some sections and to enact a new section into the revised code, the Ohio Revised Code, regarding basically adding an amendment to some sections, right? Now, what does that have to do with LGBTQ stuff? Fuck if I know, but let's find out.
In the next section, it says, so I guess they want to revise this section 3313, whatever. The Board of Education of each school district shall be the sole authority in determining and selecting all of the following to be used in the schools under its control: textbooks, reading lists, instructional materials, academic curriculum. The Board of Education of each school district may permit educators to create instructional materials. Shit, even if this wasn't law, I create my own goddamn instructional materials, including textbooks that are consistent with the curriculum adopted by the district board for use in the educator's classroom. So yada yada. We don't want to bore you out there. Look, check out this. I think they want to add this. Check this out. The school district board shall not select any textbook, instructional material, or academic curriculum that promotes any divisive or inherently racist concept described in the section numbers of the revived code. That seems a little vague to me.
So let's check out some of these things that are forbidden, if you will. Right?
Ooh, so it says divisive or inherently racist concepts include all of the following. What are they? Passing the mic to you.
Critical race theory, CRT, baby. Followed by intersectional theory. Wow, fucking intersectionality.
Kimberly Crenshaw.
No shit. The 1619 Project. That's very specific.
Wow.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion learning outcomes.
What? What's wrong with those things?
Inherited racial guilt. Who the fuck teaches that in the public school?
Who teaches that? I'm white and I don't feel any guilt. I feel sad. But
who in your class, like in your field, how many instructors have you encountered? They're like, yeah, I'm teaching about racial guilt this semester.
Yeah, I'm teaching everybody that white boys are the honkies.
that little Timmy is responsible for slavery. Is inherently racist?
Hold on. I got a funny story about that, man. I was in elementary school. I went to an all-black elementary school, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on the playground one day. I'm in like 3rd grade. This black boy is in my grade, same grade as me. He comes up to me and says, "Man, I'm gonna whip your ass because you enslaved my ancestors." I'm like, what? Serious, this is a real story. I remember this. There's this little 3-year-old kid coming up to this white dude, me. This little 3rd grade kid coming up to another 3rd grade kid. I'm gonna whip your ass, man. I'm like, what? And he didn't whip me we didn't fight, but I'm just like, what the hell? Oh man.
Well, now to clarify,
like Family Guy.
to clarify here, was that something you remember being taught in your class? Did your teacher did the teacher point to you and say, "Martin over there is responsible for slavery. Beat his ass on the in the playground, kids"?
No, I don't remember any of that.
Wow, it's as if people aren't actually teaching that in public schools.
Nah.
Oh, okay. There's more here, by the way. There's more. So after inherited racial guilt, any other concept that the State Board of Education defines as divisive or inherently racist in accordance with rules adopted under Chapter 119 of the Revised Code. The quote, the state scholarship program, unquote, has the same meaning in section number of the Revised Code. No school district, community school established under Chapter 3314 of the Revised Code, STEM school established under Chapter 3326 of the Revised Code, or non-public school that enrolls students who are participating in a state scholarship program shall do any of the following. Oh boy, let's this is good. Let's read this stinker. A. Teach, use, or provide for use by any student any curriculum, instructional material, or assignment designed to promote or endorse divisive or inherently racist concepts, which they have listed above. I don't know how critical race theory or intersectional theory of all fucking things. Like
the 1619 Project.
Yeah. Okay. So for the audience sake, intersectional theory basically teaches, here, let me pull it up just so I don't misquote anything.
Dude, I did my master's thesis on critical race theory.
Oh, really? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Tell me about it.
Let me see if I can pull it up right now. I haven't looked at this in a while. Yeah, let me pull this mother up right now if I still have it on this one.
So while you do that, so for all of you who don't know what we're talking about, at least when it comes to intersectional theory, so it's this framework that basically provides a framework for understanding how different aspects of your social identity or your ability, your physical ability, intellectual ability, anything like that, like your race, your gender, your ethnicity, your social economic class, any disabilities you have. It's basically looking about how those identities interact with society, like how society privileges some and punishes others or oppress others. Like being able to use the bathroom or not if you're transgender, those kind of things. Or being being able to get certain kinds of health care that's very specific to your needs, which could be determined by any abilities you have or your sex or your gender too. Turns out a lot of these things overlap with each other. It's not just like a one thing or the other. They all kind of interact, and those things kind of determine your life outcomes. Those are the things that intersectional theory is interested in exploring and uncovering. So that said, Martin, did you find what you were looking for?
Oh yeah, well I got one thing to say, man. Right now, I'm looking at my master's thesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of feel like this right now. Hold on. You ever heard of Public Enemy? Well, guess what? The way I feel, hold on. The way I feel with this master's thesis is if they knew what my master's thesis is about, they would probably kick me out of school, kick me out from being a teacher. So anyway, my master's thesis was about white teachers, black students, bridging the achievement and cultural gap. And I wrote this back in 2014. And so check this out. I control F'd critical race theory.
Mm-hmm.
16 results. So so here's what I wrote. My research is grounded within a critical race theory framework.
Okay. Wow, this sounds racist as fuck already. You fucking
shit.
Racist.
Critical analysis about issues of race, racism, and its ramifications have been generally ignored in our country. If we are to advance as a society beyond racism, these important issues must come to the forefront of discussion. Holy shit, not in the classrooms these idiots want. We have to engage our students in these critical discussions of race so that they will be prepared to change the racial and social realities of America. Adopting a CRT framework is conducive to that end. Mm-hmm. And then I talk about in the next paragraphs of that, what is CRT, the history of it, Derek Bell, Crenshaw, Latson Billings, all the research I did.
Mm-hmm. So when you say Crenshaw, do you mean like Kimberly Crenshaw?
Yeah, Kimberly, yeah.
Yeah, I know who
Bell
she
Hook,
is.
Alfred Tate. Woo, yeah, so I go into a couple of pages here where I talk about CRT and CRT in the social studies. Oh boy, jeez.
Yeah. It's so basically, these theories, whether you're talking about critical race theory or intersectionality, these theories are really kind of interested in dealing with like forms of like oppression in like very specific ways.
It's like Cornel West said, he talked about it's a different perspective to see American society. It's not a hateful perspective. It's just a different perspective, and no one perspective, like he said, has all the truth.
Right. There are actually valid criticisms of both intersectionality and critical race theory. Those actually exist. We're not going to go into them right now, but yeah, there's actually some valid critiques of both of these frameworks. But ultimately, neither of them have anything to do with, making white people feel bad. That's not, there's no point in doing that. That's not the goal of anyone. These things analyze systems for the most part, right? They analyze systems and how individuals have very unique relationships with them, very different dynamics. At least intersectionality is based in what's called standpoint theory, which is it's very academic, right? But essentially it's rooted in individuals' personal knowledge and perspectives, right? And that's there's more I could go into it, but I don't want to get too off topic there. But
all right, let's get back to this bill, man. I did not know my master's thesis would be so relevant at what?
Or inherently racist. Your thesis is inherently racist, according to this bill.
According to these guys who wrote this bill and girl, I guess I'm a racist son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Here, y'all. I'm racist. I'm a racist.
Racist Martin. This is the racist Martin arc, everybody. Wow.
Oh, mackerel.
I know not this man. I'm going to deny you 3 times like Peter denied Jesus at his crucifixion.
Jeez. Wow.
let's keep going.
Yeah.
So
wow.
where did I leave off here? Huh? So I'm on page 3. Page 3, right?
B.
So essentially here, blah, 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 no school district, all these different schools and whatnot, blah, 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 that enrolls students who are participating in a state scholarship program shall allow any of the following, basically forbidding them from letting this happen. Teach, use, or provide for use by any student any curriculum, instructional material, or assignment designed to promote or endorse divisive or inherently racist concepts, which it doesn't really explain the divisive aspect,
Nope.
but it has some criteria for what this bill's language deems as inherently racist, which we just determined are not. They're lying. B, offer training or professional development to employees that promote or endorse divisive, and there's that word again, inherently racist concepts. 2, no school district, community school, STEM school, non-public school that enrolls students who are participating in a state scholarship program, or any employee or other third party representing a school district or school shall do either of the following. God, these are so fucking verbose and needlessly wordy.
I know, man. Keep it simple. These lawyers, man, these legislators, they couldn't teach their way out of a paper bag because they don't know how to explain things in a proper way.
Yeah.
Jeez.
With respect to a student in any of the grades, kindergarten through 3, teach, use, or provide any curriculum or instructional materials on sexual orientation or gender identity. Who would do that anyway?
Yeah, who is doing that?
What sex?
Who's got a book that says, I'm gay and you should too?
Like, what school, what program is there to teach, like, the faculty to promote this stuff? Where, I ask you, like, how would you even teach kindergartners this shit? Like, what do kids do in kindergarten? Don't they like finger paint and shit? Like, the only feasible thing I can actually see happening that would actually get someone in trouble is if for some reason, like little Timmy goes up to the teacher and says, I'm a girl. And that's it. Or, someone explaining why little Jane over there has 2 moms or 2 dads. And that's it. They just have 2 moms or 2 dads. That's how some families are. The end. Go finger paint.
There you go.
Go finger paint, you little shit. So
what about the teachers who have what about gay teachers who have spouses that are same sex? It's like, who's that? That's my husband. But you're a boy. Why do you have a husband?
because I love
can't
him.
say why.
Because I love my husband.
Yeah.
And that's it. How is that grooming? How is that? And grooming seems to be the biggest accusation out there. How is that fucking grooming, I ask you? Children are curious about things. And you know what? Even 3rd graders, don't they have access to the internet now too? Can't they just look up anything they want on their phone? Some kids know, internet or not, some kids learn pretty quickly that they're different from others, or they like different kinds of other kids than others, right? There's some kids who do realize they're pretty gay early on. Even if they don't know the language for that yet, they do realize sometimes that they feel different towards other people or have different feelings about themselves, like gender. Like, don't kids, I could be wrong, but don't kids start having an idea of like their sense of gender by like 3 or some shit? It's like really young.
I don't know the research on that.
Yeah.
So I'm not confident to say anything.
I'm not either.
Can we bring back communism somewhere, please?
I wish. Shit. I want to teach
kids. They had a red scare. Now there's a gay scare.
So
let's go back to the red scare.
Yeah. I just pulled this up from Mayo Clinic. You can take it with a grain of salt if you want. Children and gender identity, supporting your child. Let's see here. Most children typically develop the ability to recognize and label stereotypical gender groups, such as girl, woman, and feminine, and boy and man, masculine, between ages 18 in 24 months.
Oh yeah, that's top, man.
Most,
That's top.
yeah, most also categorize their own gender by age 3 years. That was from fucking Mayo Clinic. That's not some like super progressive liberal source I found. Like Chop EDU. I don't know what the hell this is. The fuck is this? Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. It's a blog article, basically saying the same thing too. That took me like only a few moments to Google. By the way, it's like, okay, so kids start to kind of get a good idea of their own gender identity and just conceptualizing gender like when they're fucking babies, practically. I mean, toddlers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't push them. You can't just make them ignorant anymore. They're going to find out anyway. And this is just right-wingers and conservatives and all kinds of other people's attempts to basically make something that's totally normal and natural completely forbidden. Forbidden knowledge, which we know how that fucking works out in the long run.
Oh boy. I just read the part B of this. Now, this is disturbing because this is affecting me.
All right.
Look at this. So, no school district, community school, STEM school, non-public school that enroll students who are participating in a state scholarship program, etc., shall do either of the following. With respect to a student in any of the grades 4 through 12, I teach 9 through 12, teach, use, or provide any curriculum or instructional materials on sexual orientation or gender identity in any manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards.
Jesus Christ. What page was this on again?
This is the same page, 3.
This is just page 3.
Line 60. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm like, you turn on a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion song and get some fucking more graphic sex than you could ever talk about in school, just saying, hey, it's okay, you're supported, you're loved, you know?
So yeah, or grades 4 through 12. When they're fucking 18, you can't teach this shit. Or anything that the board, any manner that is not appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. So basically the state. If they deem this shit not appropriate for 17, 18-year-olds, you can't fucking teach it.
But there's nothing that's inappropriate for an 18-year-old. I mean, think about it. You, like you said, you could go on TV or you could go sing or have a song on. They're listening to stuff that's sexually explicit. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying the stuff about sexual orientation and gender is not sexually explicit. It's about sexual orientation and gender. It has nothing to do with the act of sex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the act of sex.
Right. And what if you're teaching like biology or something, right? What if you're teaching health science to kids? Like what are they supposed to teach then? Like, especially when you get into like discussions of stuff like biological sex, right? Or chromosomes and shit. Like, is it inappropriate according to the state to teach that actually there's a bunch of different variations of your chromosomes? Did you actually even know that?
Oh boy.
Right. Is it appropriate, would the state view it appropriate to teach kids that, sex is essentially like a bimodal distribution and not just like a binary?
I think under this it would be, but it's so vague. It's vague.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, would it be inappropriate, and it's deliberately vague too, but we're just exploring some of the possibilities that could potentially be banned by this bill. So I'm going
That's why they have to be vague, is because they can't come out with their mask off and say, yeah, we're homophobes or we're transphobic. They can't come out and say that. That's what they are. That's why it's so vague.
So,
man.
So
and the next one gets me hot too. Well, what were you going to say?
So I'm pulling this source from a .gov source, Medline Plus. Basically, it's with the National Library of Medicine. And this is it's just like a quick section about, how many chromosomes do people have, right? And how many variants people have. Let me pull back. In humans, each cell contains 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46. Blah, blah, blah. I'm basically looking for the different number, your XY variations, right? That's the stuff I'm looking for. Because I was actually looking about this earlier. And
well, while you look for that, did you know? Look at this next one. No teacher shall receive continuing education credit or other credit required for all licensure renewal for any seminar or other program that teaches, promotes, or endorses divisive or inherently racist concepts.
And remember,
think about that. We need our license to continue our career.
Yeah, they're threatening your careers with this stuff.
Threatening our livelihoods. The balls, the nerves on this Lloyd chick and this Schmidt shit. Now I'm mad. Now I'm hot. Now I'm really mad.
It's meant to intimidate people in your profession, essentially. It's meant to create what's called a chilling effect. So things are so kind of ambiguous that you don't know exactly what you can't teach, even though this bill does categorize some of the things it considers divisive and or inherently racist, which in reality they're not, but this is a bill. It's legalese, essentially. It's legally defining it as such.
That's the thing, though, man. For me personally, I don't care. Like, I would, if these people came up to me and tried to discipline me for something I did, I'd tell them to go do something sexual to their mother or their father. I don't care.
Chances are they probably already have.
Well, I'm not laughing at that because,
Consensually, even.
Oh my God. Oh, God. I was telling them as an insult, man. Ugh.
That is an insult. I'm just calling them incestuous.
But yeah, I'd go tell these guys to do something suggestive to their mother. Yeah, right in their face. I'd even spit in their face, too. But, man, I'd go to prison for that, wouldn't I? Yeah, I'd go to jail. I wouldn't go to jail. But
that said, let's get back to this. Wow, this stuff gets the blood fucking pumping and boiling, man.
But here's the thing, though. This is what this is intended to do. So I'm smart to that. I'm in control of my emotions. You're not gonna you're not gonna fool me. I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to divide us while you're simultaneously trying to divide the public while saying that you're trying not to divide us.
That, and there's the thing too, that these people would love nothing more than to have somebody as qualified and, well, they would call you woke, but essentially someone like you not teaching kids at all. Someone that would push back. They want eager, docile, passive instructors. Not teachers, they just want instructors. That's it. That do whatever they say without any questioning whatsoever. Someone who toes the line.
Shoot, man, I wouldn't consider myself. You can't stay woke all the time. You gotta sleep sometimes, man.
Well, these people want everyone to essentially remain in dreamland, if you will.
Yeah. So people want to go back to the time where Alan Turing was chemically castrated. That's what they want to do.
And push to kill himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Let's keep going. Let's make ourselves more mad as we read this shitty bill.
Well, look at D. The State Board of Education shall establish a procedure in accordance with Chapter 119 of the Revised Code by which an individual may file a complaint against a teacher, school administrator, or school district superintendent alleging a violation of previously in this section. There you go. Intimidation tactics.
Yep. Basically, if some fucking lunatic parent comes in and like, you said it was okay that my child is gay, I'm gonna sue you.
And by some lunatic parent inspired by QAnon.
See, that particular section seems more like it's meant to be an intimidation tactic against the school itself to force them into compliance. The teacher. Yeah, against the teacher. But essentially, I mean, the school probably, like, I think in the Florida bill, I'm not sure this is the case in this one, but in the Florida bill, any individual can file a complaint against the school or the teacher on the school's dime. Like, the school would have to pay for all the legal shit involved in this. And that's
particularly insidious.
Yeah, all of these bills are insidious. They know what they're doing.
That's Emperor Palpatine insidious.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not being stupid about this. They're being evil. They're being fucking devious and evil about this. It's disgusting. This should fucking disgust people. But no, it's like in the public eye and mindset, there's still this idea that the teachers are teaching your kids to be trans and gay, which is not happening, by the way. No one's fucking doing that, by the way.
That's why I was speechless just there. I was speechless because I was thinking, what rational human being thinks that?
Secondly, they can already get in trouble for a lot of that shit, by the way. Talking about sex and shit to kids, that it's inappropriate, they could already be fired and shit. That's already a huge no-no. Teachers are already kind of forbidden from talking about sex to kindergartners.
Well, we gotta keep it school appropriate at all times.
Yeah. It's like, holy shit, you can't. Teachers are already forbidden from talking about gay sex and shit for the most part, especially to young students.
Yeah, I mean, no teacher in the right mind would do that.
Yeah, but it seems like the one exception these people will be okay with is fucking abstinence, which we already know doesn't fucking work.
Hell yeah. I mean, you ever seen the movie High School High?
I might have, actually.
Where the chick in the school, the nurse in the school was passing out condoms that were stapled in the middle of the condom package to another piece of paper?
The fuck? Maybe I don't remember this movie.
Oh, that movie's hilarious, man. No, this nurse, like, all these kids were coming up, these high school kids, right? And this nurse was saying something about safe sex, and she was stapling in the middle of the condom package, in the middle of the condom, I guess, this piece of paper.
Wouldn't that make a hole in the condom?
Yeah, duh. Oh, man, that'd be rolling, man. High School High.
God damn.
This is also, I think, some type of parody as well. I'm like, can this really be happening? Like, is this parody? Are we living in a satirical time, like a satirical world? What is with this bill?
Like, it's surreal. Reading this shit is surreal. And here's the thing, too. At the risk of sounding super, super woke here, we're basically two cis dudes reading this shit. We're not trans or anything. At the end of the day, we're allies, yeah. But at the end of the day, you and I are not like the targets of this. I mean, you kind of are because you're a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher, yeah.
Roast my balls on 5th Street Avenue, whatever.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, these bills aren't trying to erase teachers. They're trying to erase queer people from existence.
Yeah, and teachers who support their trans and who support their LGBTQ plus students.
Yeah.
Who support and nourish them.
And sometimes that one person, the teacher, might be the only person in that student's life who can actually provide resources and safety and affirmation to a student. Because at the end of the day, a lot of kids go home to queer phobic families. Homophobic parents and shit. Kids still end up on the streets if they get outed out as gay to their parents.
Well, actually, speaking of that, there was a situation in my old school where there was an LGBTQ plus club that met at lunchtime. And the identities of those students were to remain anonymous because one of the students' parents found out about it and raised a stink. That's a true story.
Sometimes the family can be the most dangerous space for queer kids.
We don't want to have sex with kids. We want to nourish them. We want to support them.
Yeah.
In their identities.
Because sometimes there might be nobody else. Granted, teachers are like primary duty is to like, well, I'll let you say it. What's a teacher's primary duty? Martin.
Teach, educate, keep them safe.
Right.
And when you say teach too, like I don't see my primary duty as teaching this boring shit, that we got to teach them this multiple choice question. No, you can Google that shit. I teach them how to critically think about their environment, how to think about themselves, how to identify, for example, disinformation on the internet. I teach them how to discuss, how to intelligently share their own opinions about what they're learning.
Yeah,
That's what I teach.
you empower students to be more competent, active citizens, participants in society, right?
Yes. And I don't care what religion they are, what sexual orientation they are. I don't care if they're trans or not. It's a moot point. I'm teaching them about social studies.
Yeah. Think we should.
And the social studies is not boring and dry, multiple choice dates and times and people and locations. That's just the foundation for the discussion.
Yeah.
Like, take a look at this map, for example. What claim can you make about the population density of China? Oh, what does it mean when they say China proper? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
What does
your
Han
head?
mean? In what context, right? Or,
Yeah, stuff like that, you know? I mean,
like, why does China sometimes beef with India? Well, let's look at this map and maybe kind of explore some of the reasons why that's the case. Or let's look at Russia and Ukraine. Let's take a look at that map and maybe see why that's the case. Why
well, let's look at that speech.
the speech. Or let's look at a map of the Soviet Union and learn what happened to it. Who was a part of it? Who was affected by it falling apart? Those kind of things.
Oh, I was telling some students today, right? They were talking about the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to approach this from a social studies perspective. And I'm like, you know who Pythagoras was? He was a weirdo cult leader.
That's right.
They're like, what?
The
I'm like,
Pythagoreans.
yeah, he didn't believe in eating beans because he thought beans had the souls of people. Like, what?
Yeah, Pythagoreans were fucking weird cult dudes. They were a secret
that's
society.
So now they see the Pythagorean theorem in a different light.
Yeah, they were a secret society of weird ass cult math nerds,
Yeah.
and probably practice pederasty because it's ancient Greece.
Probably.
Probably.
Oh, I don't know if they were celibate though. I don't know.
Well, let's
All right, we'll get back to this one.
keep reading this bill here. So I'm on section 5,
Okay.
or page 5. Page 5, excuse me.
Oh, okay. Where at?
The very first
Oh.
thing, the section.
Oh, wait a minute. You passed the underline. I think the underline stuff was what they wanted to add.
Oh, that's right, too. Yeah, going back to page 4.
Yeah.
There's no way we can read this entire bill in one episode.
Oh no, we got like 20 minutes left. But yeah, so
We got the...
oh,
Yeah, let's
actually,
see.
yeah, the first 4 pages are just what they want to add to the existing legislation.
That's right. Yep, you're right.
Interesting. Okay, so this is how this works, making laws work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see if we read the good parts. The parts. Let's see. Let's go back to page 4.
We were on page 3 at the very last one, section D. The one about the state board shall establishing procedures in accordance with chapter blah, 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 by which individuals may file complaints against a teacher, school administrator, or school district superintendent, alleging a violation of division B or C of the section.
Yeah, then we're on page 4.
Yep.
So the state board shall afford the teacher, school administrator, or school district superintendent an opportunity for a hearing. Okay. So I guess you'll be going to a hearing now, like you're being expelled from school. So the next part, if the superintendent of public instruction, wait a minute, public instruction. So are private schools and religious schools? So if the superintendent of public instruction finds that the teacher, school administrator, or school district superintendent violated division B or C of this section, so what we just read above, the Department of Education shall issue an adjudication order in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, taking licensure action based on the severity of the offense, including, but not limited to, an official licensure admonishment, licensure suspension, or licensure revocation or revocation. Yeah, revocation.
Taking away your fucking license, essentially.
So education order. Hold on, let me look that up real quick.
I've never even...
Because, I don't speak legal bullshit.
I've never even heard of that shit. What the fuck is that?
So, an education order is an order that a court may issue against someone if they cannot pay their debts when they're... Oh, that's not the one. So
I think that's more just like a hearing, essentially, to determine the punishment for you saying gay people exist.
Why are teachers not writing these laws?
Because people fucking hate teachers, man.
Has this Mike Loychik guy ever?
Republic.
Let's see his biography.
His biology.
Let's see his biology. Is this even a guy? He looks like a girl. Anyway,
What's
state
your-
representative is serving his first term in the Ohio House of Representatives. Oh, he wants to make a name for himself. Including blah blah blah. Along with various committee assignments, Loychik also serves as co-chair of the Sportsman Caucus for Ohio. Oh, he might be one of them sports bro guys.
Sports bro, yeah.
Loychik is a committed public servant, having dedicated 8 years of his life to the United States Air Force. Well, good for you. I'm proud of that for you. Thank you for your service. But I'm not seeing any teaching here. He works as a small business owner and operates Atlantic Pressure Washing Solutions, LLC. So, professional power washing and soft washing, sir. I'm not seeing any teaching here. No. He doesn't have any teaching. Well, wait a minute.
I'm looking at his Twitter right now, which is at the end of the day, perfect grounds to judge somebody, right? The quality of your tweets. It's just what, Martin Luther King Jr. wanted. Not for people not to be judged by the color of their skin, but the quality of their tweets. Conservative state representative for Ohio's 63rd District, Air Force vet. Pro Second Amendment, pro-life, pro-worker. Shut the fuck up. Pro-liberty. Pro-liberty? You're trying to... Bro, you can't say you're pro-liberty and you're trying to forbid teachers from teaching shit. That they're not even teaching to... Yeah, that they're not even teaching to begin with. Fuck you, piece of shit.
Well, it's crazy, right? You can fuck a student and get your license away. And if I get my license taken away for teaching about whatever the fuck vague concept they're talking about, it's like, what'd you get your license away? The state took it away because I taught some vague concept.
I told the kids that gay people are real, that they exist. I'm looking at his pin tweet, very first thing. This Mr. Pro Worker here. Elon Musk contributes more to this country in one day than Elizabeth Warren will in her entire existence.
Oh, God, it's one of these guys. It's one of these guys who sucks Elon Musk's cock.
Yeah,
my God.
Guy's so homophobic, but he's...
Oh... This guy wants to bang Elon Musk, and he has the right and the nerve. He has the gallbladder to tell people about He has the nerve to be a homophobe and a transphobe, and yet he wants to blow Elon Musk.
Shares another tweet here. Oh, he shares a screenshot. He doesn't actually post a fucking article either. He just shows like the screenshot of the headline from a Fox News article here. New Jersey to require second graders to learn about gender identity in fall, alarming parents. Sample.
That's a real good source, Fox News. Boy, so he's a propagandist too. He gets his news from propagandists.
This is from the subtitle says, sample New Jersey lesson plan says, you might feel like you're a boy even if you have body parts that some people might tell you are girl parts. Oh, in quotes.
Somebody made that up.
Wow, I can only imagine what these comments say. Gosh golly. Pronouns must be hard for you guys. Party of pet. Oh, he's getting some backlash. His tweet isn't really he's getting ratioed. Party of pedophiles. He's got a picture of Donald Trump, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, lots of folks there. Interesting.
Oh, why is I've just put it in Twitter too. Why is Joe Biden giving free cell phones in hotel rooms to illegal immigrants but not homeless American veterans?
Why aren't you doing that actually, buddy?
I know. Why
aren't you passing legislation that does that for both?
He's also for monopoly. Elon Musk just became Twitter's largest shareholder. He should buy Facebook next. Oh, so he's a monopolist now.
Wow, dude. Holy fucking shit. So he loves
monopoly. Okay.
So here's actually a Twitter a response to his tweet, the one I just described you. Hey, Mike, New Jersey mom here. We know that you didn't read the article because that's not what it said. Quote, curriculum for middle school and high school. New Jersey is ranked second in the nation for education. Ohio, not so much. Shocker. Oh, and the mom here posted a section here about the assembly bill. Instruction on the political, economic, and social contributions of persons with disabilities and lesbian, gay, and bisexual and transgender people in an appropriate place in the curriculum of middle school and high school students as part of the district's implementation of the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. Damn, got owned by a fucking mom on Twitter. This guy wants you to think.
Good for that mother.
This guy wants you to think he's bad as fuck, but he's getting fucking ratioed by Twitter moms.
Oh, and look what Columbus Education Association, CEA, said about House Bill 616, the one we're reading. Because we actually read what we critique. So John Coniglio of CEA, the president of Columbus Education Association, said House Bill 616 is a repulsive attack on our students. Our state legislators can't commit to properly funding schools, yet they find the time to censor educators. To our LGBTQIA plus students, your teachers are committed to honesty and education. We see you, we affirm your value to our community, and we will not let your humanity be legislated away by bigots in suits. Ooh, I like that. Your humanity be legislated away.
Oh, sweet. Oh, let me share with you this real quick, too. So I looked up Jean Schmidt on Twitter. I don't think she uses Twitter because I think, maybe she's too old for that shit.
Well, why you look her up? Let's read her bio on the Ohio House of Representatives. See if she has any teaching background.
Let's find out. Let's actually find out if these people are actually qualified.
Now. She served in both. So she served since 2001. She's the first woman to serve Southern Ohio in Congress. Well, that's good. In addition to public service, she also served as president of the Cincinnati Right to Life and on the board of Claremont County Public Library. Well, hey,
she's anti-abortion.
That's not teaching, though.
It's not teaching.
Recently, she enjoyed teaching government. Oh, there you go. A fucking teacher. Well, that's good. Recently, she enjoyed teaching government and the Constitution.
God.
I don't know. I have a problem with this. Is it after or before she became a legislator?
God help any fucking student of hers. Jesus Christ.
So she also coaches running for the St. Andrew, whatever, blah, 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 junior high cross-country team, a position she held for 22 years. She volunteers at City Gospel Mission, helping victims of drug crisis through therapeutic running and training. I respect that. I do. I like that.
I'm looking at some of her controversies on here. Holy shit. This is a long one. No, on Wikipedia. Holy fuck.
Oh, I didn't even think to look up these people on Wikipedia.
So here's Jean Schmidt. I was looking at some of the stuff that you were talking about, like with background, and then I couldn't help but look at some of these controversies. She called one guy, let me see here, John P. Murphy Jr., a Democrat from Pennsylvania, who introduced a resolution, called for redeployment of American forces as soon as possible. This is back in 2005 during the Iraq War. In response, Armed Service Committee Chairman Duncan L. Hunter, California, introduced this resolution, which the Republican leadership admitted was intended to demonstrate that calls for troops withdrawals were out of the mainstream. Democrats, in turn, roundly criticized the Hunter resolution as a sham that misstated Murtha's position, as in John P. Murtha. Yeah. During the debate on adopting the rule for debating the resolution, Schmidt said, "Yesterday, I stood at Arlington National Cemetery attending the funeral of a young Marine in my district. He believed in what we were doing is the right thing and had the courage to lay his life on the line to do it. A few minutes ago, I received a call from Colonel Danny Bupp." Danny Bupp. It's literally Bupp. Ohio, blah, blah, blah. He asked me to send Congress a message. Stay the course. He also asked me to send Congressman Murtha a message. That cowards cut and run. Marines never do. Blah, 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 blah. Schmitz remarked threw the House into an uproar and earned her the sobriquet Mean Gene.
Oh, yeah, brother. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Yeah. Oh, the guy, by the way, many Democrats saw it as an unwarranted attack against Murtha, a 38-year Marine Corps veteran. After she said cowards cut and run, Marines never do, angry Democrats nearly drowned out her words. This lady got fucking canceled, basically, before canceling was a thing. After 10 minutes, this was, I guess, during an interview, or maybe this was a session, I don't know. After 10 minutes, Schmidt asked for and received permission to withdraw her remarks and apologize to Murtha. Oh, wow.
That all sounds like some politics, though.
Fake endorsements. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported Representatives Tom Tancredo of Colorado and Steve Chabot of Ohio stated that they had not endorsed Schmidt, even though Schmidt's campaign site claimed they had. Chabot later said he endorsed both Schmidt and her primary opponent. Schmidt also claimed endorsement from the Family Research Council, which was reputed by the organization. Family Research Council is a evangelical activist group, by the way.
Yeah.
These are the people passing your laws.
Wow, she wasn't even endorsed by them. That's crazy.
After a review, the Ohio Elections Commission found that Tancredo and the Family Research Council endorsement claims were false, but did not warrant any reprimand. Wow.
Well, hey, I'm endorsed by Donald J. Trump, everyone.
Yeah.
Vote for me.
Oh, what's here? Second bachelor's degree. This looks like a radio station. It's a commercial news talk radio station, Cincy. WLWAM reported on 2006 that Schmidt had, since 1989, claimed a Bachelor's of Arts in Secondary Education from the University of Cincinnati, awarded in 1986. Schmidt previously listed 2 degrees on candidate guides, her official house bio, and past campaign websites. But after her election to Congress, neither her current official or campaign website had the second degree posted. Schmidt's chief of staff, Barry Bennett, told the Plain Dealer Schmidt completed the requirements for the degree, but never filed the paperwork to be awarded a diploma. I quote, I think it's fair to say that she earned it and never collected it, Bennett said. Why the fuck would you never... What? Why would you do that? Why would you not do that?
This woman is... Damn! Liar, pants on fire. Your pants are so freaking on fire, they're gonna expire.
This person is... Wait, do I get to say I have...
I got a Harvard degree and I got a doctorate in philosophy. I just didn't file the paperwork.
Yeah. I have my PhD in sexology, man. You can trust me for anything.
Oh, look at this. The Ohio Elections Committee voted 7-0 to issue Schmidt a public remand for false statements. The commission wrote in its letter of reprimand that Schmidt had reckless disregard for truth. And this is the person on the bill.
This fucking ghoul is the... You want this person to fucking pass your laws? Schmidt insisted the error regarding her degrees was a mistake by her staff, but she's blaming everyone else. On May 1st, the day before the election, Schmidt appeared on Bill Cunningham's show on WLWAM in Cincinnati and was asked by a caller about the OEC reprimand. Schmidt repeated her insistence as the error was caused by the designer of her website, incorrectly listing her teaching certificate as a degree in secondary education and social studies. Fuck you. Obama's birth certificate.
Oh, she's one of them. Oh boy, that's some closet racism right there.
Yeah. Obamacare rulings, blah, blah, blah. Armenian genocide denial? Excuse me?
This what? Armenian genocide? Do my eyes deceive me?
What's there to deny about the Armenian genocide? A few days before the 2008 congressional election, Krikorian published a letter stating that Gene Schmidt took $30,000 in blood money from the Turkish government, sponsored political action committees to deny the slaughter of 1.5 million Armenian men, women, and children by the Ottoman Turks during World War I. Finally, the flyer asserted that it could be adequately verified by the FEC's website, Federal Election Commission. He repeated the letter to the OEE, the Ohio Elections Commission.
Well, hold on there before you. So the Krikorian person is David Krikorian. He was an American businessman and former candidate. So I guess this was a political opponent of Schmidt.
Oh, okay. So there's probably some.
Yeah. I want to see proof for this claim.
So the Ohio Elections Commission issued a split decision on the case, failing to find all of the preceding 3 remarks that were published in violation of Ohio Revised Code section by clear and convincing evidence. In a series of 4 panel votes, commissioners affirmed that Turkish American funds are a primary source of support for Rep. Schmidt's political campaign.
Oh.
What? That's
weird.
But chided Krikorian for statements related to the Turkish government funding of his opponent, because such a funding would be illegal. The votes were taken after a panel decision to disregard testimony provided regarding the Armenian genocide in its denial, which was criticized by David Krikorian's party and supporters. Schmidt also attempted, to no avail, to press criminal charges against Krikorian for his statements. Sybil Edmonds, a former FBI translator, testified on behalf of Krikorian during the Ohio Election Commission's hearing and spoke about Turkey's connections to Schmidt. It looks like some unsuccessful back and forth.
Yeah, well, wouldn't this be easily solved by just asking the Schmidt, hey, do you call it an Armenian genocide or not?
Yeah, do you think that happened?
Do you think that happened? Is it true? I wonder what her answer to that question would be, but it's not in here.
Yeah.
And the next controversy is illegal gifts from Turkish coalition.
A famous Turkish surname, Schmidt. And
she got a husband?
I'm very curious. Why is this? In July 2011, the House Ethics Committee announced it was investigating accusations that Schmidt accepted roughly $500,000 in free legal service from a Turkish-American interest group, the Turkish Coalition of America. Schmidt said that she hadn't received the bill for the legal services in question and that she'd been waiting for more than a year for guidance from the Ethics Committee on the proper procedure to pay the bill. In August 2011, the Ethics Committee rendered its decision holding that the interest group's payment for legal services in connection with her proceedings against Krikorian had been improper and ordering Schmidt to repay the group $500,000. What the fuck is happening? On September 21st, 2011, the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, which is a nonprofit U.S. government ethics org, essentially. It's like a watchdog organization.
Okay.
They added Schmidt to its most corrupt list for accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars in free legal services from lawyers hired by an interest group that appreciated her legislative assistance, as well as failure to report the free legal services as gifts in her disclosure forms. Crew, the organization we listed, requested the Office of Congressional Ethics investigate whether Schmidt lied to the House Ethics Committee regarding inquiries into free legal services. That is so fucking weird. That's like the most...
got a lot of smoke.
Yeah. She is just so fucking bizarre. These are the people passing these fucking bills and shit, writing these bills and sponsoring them.
These are people making them.
Yeah, what the actual fuck?
And these are the people that were responsible literally for my livelihood. These fucking weird, smoking ass, corrupt ass people, man.
Yeah. I'm at a loss for fucking words here. Holy shit. What's this? What the fuck is this here? Early life education, early political career. In 1995, she traveled to Russia to offer instruction about political campaigning in a country that had little experience of free elections. On a trip she ran in Moscow's Red Square, did I ever feel unsafe? No, and I would jog through Central Park in New York. She apparently went to instruct political candidates on how to hold elections. I'm more confused by this statement. And when I jog through Central Park in New York, no way. The fuck is that supposed to mean? The fuck does
this woman, like you said, weird. Something's going on. Is she an alien?
What do you have against what's wrong with Central Park?
She is Iranian, like in Charles Bukowski's Pulp.
She's a fucking Martian.
This one, something's up with this. Is she Lady Death?
And she's just fucking weird as fuck.
I bet she got some money out of Russia. How much you want to bet, allegedly?
These are, by the way, the thing I sent you in Discord, the one with the Twitter video of Gene Schmidt. Let's see. This is from somebody named Josh Roltenberg, who's I guess he's a journalist? Philly native sports fan, he's a State House reporter. Okay. So she's looking like she's beating a retreat. Let me play the video so I can hear the audio and see what this brave woman... This is in response. This was like April 5th, by the way. This is pretty recent. I'm going to play the video now.
See, I've got to go to the Senate. Please don't harass me.
I've got to go to the Senate. Please don't harass me.
Why do you feel the need to introduce this here in Ohio?
Wow, what a brave woman. She's power walking. She's power walking. Look at this.
She's running a marathon.
Look at this. What a coward. That guy asked.
I must go to the Senate.
That guy was asking, he asked one question. He's not even really in her face either. He asked a simple question, and she's just like beating a hasty retreat to the Senate. What a fucking disgusting coward. Wow.
Can I just say how much I like my representative?
Me too, dude.
With these bills.
God, these people are such fucking scumbags. Holy shit. These people are never going to fucking stop in their weird fucking quest to erase queer people and to intimidate educators. And some educators are pretty queer themselves, actually. You know, there are teachers who are gay. There's teachers who are lesbian. Yep. There are teachers who are transgender as well. They're trying to erase all of that.
And you know what, too? Fortunately, we live in a democracy. And what we do with our enemies in a democracy, or let's just say people we disagree with, because enemies has like this warlike quality. Mm. What we do with the people that we don't like representing us in a democracy is vote them out. So I'm glad, because I want to vote these people out, but they never even in my district.
I want to vote them out, but I also want to shit talk them on Twitter.
I want to do both, but never ever violence, of course.
Violence bad. Don't do violence.
Yes.
Even though, don't do violence, but what they're doing is violence in its own way.
What they're doing is violence, yeah. Because, it's not a violence where I'm going to punch you in the face. It's more of a violence of, it's like John Coniglio said, I'm going to deny your humanity.
Essentially, yeah.
And you look at any genocide, even war, the first step toward killing people is denying them humanity. They're not human beings, they're cockroaches, right?
Yeah.
They're animals.
Actually, I listened to a very interesting opinion by a neuroscientist, and he talked about how in the brain, I forget the name of the part of the brain, but it's responsible for us being able to feel disgust, like physical disgust. Mm-hmm. And lots of mammals have the same thing too. The thing which I'm forgetting that is responsible for feeling disgust, right? You know, like how like a rat will bite into some moldy food and then they'll spit it back out. They might regurgitate it. That part of the brain is responsible for that. And it turns out that part of the brain too is responsible for our feelings of moral disgust. And when we feel moral disgust, that's kind of that part of the brain activating. In addition to that, when we get into propaganda and dehumanizing, when we want to dehumanize anyone, the easiest and most surefire way to do that is to paint them in the most revolting, disgusting light. You paint them as, you know, the other. Like, this is what they do. These liberals, these progressives, these queer people, they are talking to your children, your kindergartners to 5-year-olds about their genitals. That's disgusting. We have to do something about that. Yeah, that is what is at work there. There actually is like a neuroscientific explanation behind why we feel moral disgust. And this is one of the ways why propaganda works. There's a reason why people believe this shit. And it's because they propagate this message to get you to feel this sense of disgust about a specific group of people. And then when you do feel that way, then anything goes. You dehumanize them. You made them less than human because they're these disgusting, horrible creatures.
It becomes easier too to kill them or even assault them sexually too. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at any genocide, I mean, there's always, you even look at the history of American slavery.
Yeah.
Jim Crow, you have murder and sex, or I should say rape. It's not consensual, but yeah.
Yeah.
We got one more paragraph to go, and then so this is the last thing that I want to read here, the addition to this law. Mm-hmm. So if the superintendent of public instruction, finds through a complaint filed in accordance with Division D of this section that a school district has violated the previous section, the Department of Education shall withhold funds from the district based on the severity of the offense and time frame by which the district complies, which may include a tiered funding penalty, terms for restoration of those funds in the event of compliance, and any other procedure that the department determines are necessary to enforce the prohibitions described in the previous sections. So now they're attacking the funds of the school district.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if the leadership of the school district is dealing with the funds, that's most important to them. They'll kick any teacher out.
That's bottom line at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I believe that was all the additions that they wanted to add. So this was basically the general gist of the bill. The rest of the bill is just a previous law that they want. That is the previous law. What we read is the addition, according to this bill, that they want to add to this law.
Yeah, there might be even more hidden in this bill, but I think we kind of covered the big parts of it. And it's infuriating to read this shit. It's obvious that they're being so dishonest and deceptive about this.
Yeah.
And the things that this bill categorizes as divisive or inherently racist or just not age appropriate, that's kind of how laws work. It's basically what's written down, not really so much what's in reality. So and remember, like this, I'm going back to page 2, a divisive or inherently racist concept includes all of the following: critical race theory, intersectional theory, the 1619 Project, diversity, equity, and inclusion learning outcomes, inherited racial guilt, which no one teaches, by the way, and any other concept that the State Board of Education defines as divisive or racist.
I use the 1619 Project to teach about slavery.
This bill will not let you do that.
Oh, yeah, this bill would have me lose my license to teach because I teach from the 1619 Project.
Yeah, it's also a racist bill.
Jesus
it's not only a queer-phobic bill, it's a racist bill.
God damn. Even my dog came down, serious, and saying, this is bullshit, man. Right, buddy?
Does he talk with a lisp?
Yeah. This is bullshit, man. This is bullshit.
Bullshit.
I'm a black dog. He is. He's a black dog. I'm a big black dog. He's a racist punks, man. I don't like him.
Why does he talk like Mike Tyson?
Because he's a big dog. He'll beat you up. No, he's a good dog. He wouldn't bite a fly. He's afraid of a fly. He runs away when there's a fly.
A little coward.
I want her to fly. I want these people voted out of office. These punks.
Punks. Well, I think we need to end on a bright note.
Oh, about where I'm going?
That you can do that too. Before that, I just want to encourage our listeners just to kind of investigate about seeing how you can get involved either in your local community or like a state org that deals with this kind of thing, that deals with rights and advocacy and activism for LGBTQ issues, because these organizations are driving the fight against this. It's not the fucking Democratic Party. Fuck the Democratic Party. I mean, don't get me wrong, vote. Fucking vote, obviously. Be mindful of who you're voting for so you can do something like electorally, but don't just make electoralism the be-all, end-all. It's part of a larger strategy. But for the love of God, if you really can, get involved. And if you can't get involved, maybe consider donating at least. Throw some money behind some shit. Money makes shit move. And that's kind of what I'm going to be trying to do in the future, trying to get involved with Equality Ohio, because I don't want to fucking be passive about this shit anymore. So, I'm not going.
Yeah, one of the things I'm involved is the school union, teachers union.
Yeah, this affects teachers too. Like, the primary target ultimately is to erase, queer people and queer concepts and queer ideas from the public discourse ultimately, or at least from education. But this affects instructors as well. This affects teachers' careers and shit.
Absolutely, yeah. Teachers who care and who want to affirm students' identities, not destroy them.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, and that's a good transition too for me, because next week I'll be in Disney World because it's spring break. So I'll be in Disney World for that entire week.
Having a gay old time.
having a gay old time. I'm going to be in that bathroom with that very gay mural.
Disney is
You're
pretty
like,
gay.
what are you talking about?
The company itself might be, performative. I mean, I was going to make a remark about how, like, the company itself is not really got the best interests of queer people in mind. It's just,
Profit, though, they care about.
They care about profit. So they'll pay some lip service here and there, but they're more interested in taking queer people's money. But yeah, that's what you're going to be doing.
So I mentioned that because I'll be doing that instead of the big union meeting that's going to be next week as well.
Self-care.
That's gonna
gotta get some self-care in there, dude.
But I think the best thing about this bill is, again, what John Coniglio of the Columbus Education Association said, the president of the Columbus Education Association. Humanity is being legislated away. Your humanity by bigots in suits and pantsuits and suit dresses. Cause so yeah, there you go. I think that's an excellent conclusion there.
Yeah. And I'll also conclude too, I know it's very easy to come down with a case of doomerism, but I would also encourage you, like I said before, to get involved in activism, but to also look for some queer content creators, whether they're gay, bi, or transgender. Actually, I would strongly encourage a lot of trans content creators on YouTube or other platforms like Twitch and get their perspective. Don't listen to dipshits on Facebook and Twitter that not only never ever touch grass, but who have never met a transgender or queer person in their life. Go seek out their perspectives and learn from them. Learn about their experience and find ways to support them, because a lot of these folks are glued constantly to this, who make their living talking about these things. Show some love, show some support. Go out and look some up. There's people like Cat Black who talks about these things all the time. There are creators on Twitch who are trans and non-binary. One person I would recommend y'all check out on Twitch is a creator named Lumiru, who has a very educational platform. And yeah, that's really all I want to leave off on. So don't give up hope. Like, be angry if you must be angry, but don't let your anger be only anger.
Yeah, we'll put it in creative outlets.
Yeah.
I guess. But creative outlets that edify and not destroy.
Yeah.
Because even incels and murderous incels put their anger toward creative outlets, but they destroy, not edify.
Yeah. And I guess another thing I want to add too is that, yeah, this specific episode and these bills target the classroom, but the classroom isn't the only place where these things are taught about and learned of. There are organizations that are nonprofits and non-government organizations. Some are local activist groups looking to get involved in them too. It's not just the state that gets to be the arbiter of what people get to learn about, Like, this is extremely important, but ultimately look outside the classroom as well.
Preach. And my dog wants to talk here. Oh, you coming to talk, buddy? Oh, you can hear him panting right now. He's about ready to speak.
Spitting facts.
He's saying, hey, man, out there, stop being mad at me because I have my black fur, you racist son of a monkeys.
Bite your fucking ears off.
I'll bite your ears off, but I won't do it literally. I'll do it metaphorically by voting you punks out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to vote you out. Wait a minute, I can't vote. I'm a dog and I'm black. So, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have my owners vote you out.
Thank you for that enlightening contribution, Sirius.
Well, I'm a dog. What you expect, man?
Well, in addition to taking advice from dogs, Maybe consider following us on Twitter at Ministry Modus. And not only that, check us out on YouTube. I just uploaded a fancy video with our dear friend Eden where we talked about sex work and sex work activism. So give us a like and a subscribe on our channel, maybe, in our videos.
Not maybe. What the hell you mean maybe?
Yeah,
you
fuck
better
maybes.
like and subscribe. Ain't no maybe about it.
Fucking like and subscribe right the fuck now, or so help me God, we're gonna find you and we're gonna vote you into office.
Like and subscribe, baby.
Like
Don't
and
you wanna
subscribe.
subscribe?
But yeah, like I said, Ministry Modus on
Maybe,
Twitter
you little soy boy.
at Ministry Modus. I'm so red.
Motherfucker.
YouTube, Ministry Modus, you can find us there too. So that said, thank you for joining us once again, everybody. Now, Martin, you got a rhyme to end on this time?
Oh, I have a rhyme, and I'm not out of time, because you said maybe. It blew my mind. No maybes about it. Go and do it. Say it, be about it, but don't ever stop. Don't ever stop fighting for justice and truth, just like Superman and he said in the phone booth. Don't you ever stop, ever in your life, because if you stop, that's when you did die. Lady Death's gonna come and pulp in the fiction. It's all dumb, and I don't know what else I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna keep going anyway. So blah blah blah. Gene Schmidt, Mike Lloyd Cheek. I don't know how to say your name. It's not chic. I don't even know. The bill text goes. It's 4 pages of diarrhea, Flitton's flows. You and your mama can go back to wherever you came, and if you say something to me, I'll tell you do the same. So whatever, I don't mean it. It wasn't cool. Reason Magazine said even you are a fool. Free minds and free markets, you dumbass. If libertarians hate you, then you know you done some dumb bass. I don't know.
Perfect. Fucking perfect.
That was perfect. That sucked. Oh, you're looking for bad content. Okay.
Yeah.
You're looking for the cringe. You know, my students say that about me a lot. But they say it in a funny way.
Well, folks, hope you enjoyed cringe today.
Oh, it was real cringy, man.
Yep. So that said, we're signing off. As they say in Portugal, toodaloo.